Amy Slaton actually did it. Amy Slaton actually married Brian in a wedded tavern on Halloween. Something that they spoke about heavily in the most recent season, so much that it caused a controversy between the family. So much to the point that when it came to Tammy being under the knife for the first time due to having skin removal, Amy found it hard to be there for Tammy for the full duration. So that caused an uproar. And obviously Amy said the reason why she struggled to be there for Tammy is purely because she wasn't happy with the fact that Tammy had been vocal about her not approving to the fact that Amy wanted to get married, one, too soon to Brian, and two, also in a haunted situation. And then also when it came to Chris and his wife, well, his wife Brittany has her own beliefs, and because of her own beliefs, she didn't exactly want to attend the wedding itself in particular, which again then also made Amy feel even more isolated and even more less supported by the rest of the family, given the fact that Amy has always been there for the family in anything that they have done. I mean, listen, hell, Amy and her ex-husband Michael literally used to wheel Tammy around everywhere. So really and truly, I could understand obviously why Amy was in her feelings, but at the same time, Amy has a habit of being rather dramatic. But now we're going to get into the details of exactly what went down with this wedding. So as you can see here, as reported by People, TLC star Amy tied the knot in a spooky wedding celebration on Halloween. Slaton, obviously Amy, and her boyfriend, which is now her husband Brian, got married again at a Talbot Tavern in a historic restaurant and inn. Ooh, sounds rather interesting. To be fair, I really hope this is something that we're going to witness in the new season to come. I mean, rumor says that it's been cancelled, but trust me, I tell you, £1,000 Sisters will not be cancelled for a very long time. Why? Because the family bring too much drama to TLC, and therefore they bring in a shitload of views. And be careful there, I don't get demonetized by swearing. But nonetheless, as you can see, for the couple who got engaged inside the padded room of a haunted house. Yes, remember, let's not forget, when it came to Brian, he proposed to Amy in a freaking haunted situation as well, which was something else that the family found quite strange and quite weird as well, which is why the family has always been a bit iffier regarding who Brian is. But nonetheless, though, we continue here where it says that my wedding is a dream finally come true. Amy, who's now 38, exclusively tells People, I'm getting my happily ever after. But there's something that I really noticed that I really wanted to speak about more than anything else within this picture. Obviously, you see Amy in her wedding dress. To be fair with you, I'm surprised that she actually wore a white one. I thought that she was going to wear a black one or one that had like kind of like a Halloween theme, purely because they wanted to go for this scary, dark, gloom, Halloween type wedding. But no, instead she decided to come out with the traditional white wedding dress. And to be fair with you, it's not that bad. I mean, let me know your thoughts. Is this a wedding dress that you approve of, or do you think it could have been better? For me personally, I think based on herself, I feel like she did better than what I anticipate based on what Amy's usual fashion is, if you dig what I'm saying. But here's the thing though, the thing that I really wanted to speak about mostly is the boys. Now, for years and years, since these boys have been born, a lot of us have had concerns around their well-being. And here's the thing, for me personally, I think when we were looking at Glenn and Gage, these two boys look like they are overweight. And listen, I have to point the obvious. I have to, because at the end of the day, we know when it comes to the Slaton family as a whole, weight management is been one of those things that's been always a massive issue. And we know with Amy is somebody that has admitted multiple times that she feeds her kids over feeding herself, which is still quite subjective. But either way, for me personally, I feel like these boys are at an age where they shouldn't necessarily be as big as they are, especially when you're looking at the youngest, which I believe the youngest is Glenn. Yes. But that's my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that the boys could be in a situation where maybe they could lose a couple pounds because maybe they're being overfed? And you can also argue that they're being neglected, because sometimes kids who are overweight, it comes down to different reasons. And one of the reasons can be neglect. And when I say neglect, what I mean is maybe Amy's been prioritizing her relationship with Brian more, she's been prioritizing her role as a mother. But hey, like I said before, let me know your thoughts, because these are the things that we have spoken about previously in the past regarding Amy stuff in particular. I ain't trying to be negative about the whole wedding day. I'm just saying, guys, we've got to be careful and we've got to watch out for the kids. Now, with that being said, it says here the couple's intimate old-timey wedding was themed Victorian, meets light grey, meets dusty blue and white. The £1,000 Sister star handmade artwork was on display alongside moons everywhere. I deeply cherish the journey of wedding planning and embracing the art and location hunting, but selecting bridesmaids and groomsmen proved to be a profound challenge, Amy says. Yet I intuitively knew that my extraordinary friend Alicia would generously accept the esteemed honor of being my maid of honor, even though maid of honor. Sorry, that's taking me back. I genuinely thought it would have been Tammy. I'm not gonna lie to you folks, but there's a friend who obviously deserved it more. But okay, it is what it is. Even before I extended the heartfelt invitation. I mean, listen, it's good to know that she's always had a long-time friend obviously by her side, but at the same time though, I want to see this friend. Not because I don't believe the friend doesn't exist. I just want to see the friend. Nonetheless, the bride dyed her hair, a special color for the big day. I mean, listen, who is Amy to not dye her hair a special color? Amy's always got a different color going on every single time, so to be fair. Am I surprised that she's got a new hair color? Absolutely not. The question is though, the hair color that she does have, was it nice? Is it something that we approve of? Well, let's go back to the picture. Obviously, we can see the hair colors in particular, and I gotta say, it does look quite nice, to be fair with you. I would say this is probably one of her best hair dyes she's ever had, and to be honest with you, it looks like this one was most likely professionally done as well, but usually, I'm pretty sure Amy dyes her own hair, and it looks rather questionable most of the time, but hey, let me know your thoughts on that one. That's just my opinion, if you dig what I'm saying. Now, with that being said, Brian wants me to have pink hair for the wedding, and I want to have a Victorian style updo. Her wedding gown featured flowered and vine details in the beading. It wasn't until the wedding processional that Amy and Brian saw each other on the wedding day, making the ceremony in which they exchanged traditional vows even more spontaneous. The ceremony was officiated by their friend Billy, who was also officiating Tammy and Caleb's wedding in 2022 at the Winchester Lane Rehabilitation Center. I mean, listen, to be honest with you, the whole Tammy and Caleb thing was just a whole calamity. And to be fair with you, the fact that the family had their own feelings towards Amy's relationship with Brian. I mean, listen, if you're going to support Tammy's relationship with Caleb, you have no choice but to support Amy's relationship with anybody else, to be honest with you, because Tammy's one, we all knew that one was never going to work. And to be fair, most of the time we had massive concerns that that relationship was going to stop Tammy from looking exactly how she's looking now. And that is pretty much a completely different person. Listen, I'm going to tell you this now, folks. If I hadn't covered these guys for a minute, I would have told you that this picture right here was AI and Photoshop. Because, boy, Tammy's looking great, I give it that. Nonetheless, though, getting married means that I'm no longer lonely because I've discovered my soulmate Brian in my happy place. Amy says, once you get to know him, you find him to be the sweetest and most caring person you ever have the pleasure of knowing. Not only did he capture my heart, but he also won over my boys, and not many men out there will accept a single mom with two energetic boys. I mean, listen, if you're telling me your two boys are energetic, that tells me that maybe your discipline at home isn't that great. I'm not saying that energetic means that she's a bad parent or means that these boys aren't exactly, but from my experience, a lot of people that have energetic kids, it usually means that they don't do a great job of disciplining their kids when their kids are misbehaving. But that's just me. Either way, though, we continue. She continues, I adore how he inspires me to be a better version of myself, how he prioritizes my well-being and that of my boys, selfishly putting our needs before his own. He's always enthusiastic about exploring new horizons with us or simply enjoying quality time indoors, playing games with the boys. Amy shares two sons, Gage and Glenn. Glenn is the youngest one. Damn it. I was right. Yes, my bad. With ex-husband Michael. I mean, listen, all this stuff here is great stuff. It is good to hear that she's obviously praising her relationship with her now husband, to say that this man's coming and he has been nothing but a miracle, shall we say, for that matter itself in particular. But hey, let's continue. Getting married is a promise to spend the rest of our days trying to make each other's days as good as they can be, whatever that means, and at any given time, says Brian, who first met Amy at a concert in the park. At the reception, the newlyweds had a special first dance. Afterward, the couple and the guests dined on barbecue pork and country fried steak before enjoying the slices of a Doge style wedding cake. No idea what that cake is. And cupcakes in three flavors: bananas and creams, cookies and creams, and salted caramel dark chocolate. I mean, that banana one really got me. And then we got the salted caramel. Oh my goodness gracious me. But hey. Why was I not invited to the wedding? God damn, I want me some of that. I want me some of that. But anyway, with that being said, it continues here by saying £1,000 sisters will be able to watch the wedding when it airs on the show. And this is what I want to hear, because this wedding does sound quite nice, to be fair. I can imagine there's going to be drama around it anyway, because it's going to be on, TLC is going to create some sort of drama leading up to the wedding, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the wedding goes. Now, also on top of that, it continues by saying I'm excited for them to finally see my Brady Bunch love light loving husband, and that my kids are wonderful, and that I'm a boss wife. Okay, calm down. Anyway, Amy says, I have a husband who will go outside and play sports with my boys. Is that a shot of Micah saying that Micah doesn't do none of these things with the boys? Interesting. Nonetheless, though, Brian added, I'm excited for TLC viewers to see my beautiful bride and also the cool venue. Amy and Brian got engaged at Henderson Huts in Henderson, Kentucky, during winter 2024, with Amy's sisters Tammy and Misty witnessing the special moment. Brian popped the question with a gothic skeleton hands heart-shaped ring, saying, my love for you is crazy. It's scary how compatible we are. The proposal came after 5 months of dating, which is why people had massive concerns, or should I say, yeah, the viewers as well as the family had massive concerns regarding their relationship. It's kind of interesting though, because we've got a similar type of situation that happened on TLC with the Platt family, you know what I mean? Literally the same thing there with obviously Lydia and Zach literally getting married after like 3, 4, 5, 6 months or something like that. Honestly, it must be a TLC thing. Who knows? But nonetheless, though, finish off here by saying the next chapter is Amy continuing to do art, and hopefully I can start to cover sports while doing some kind of writing, Brian says. So basically, he's going to now be using the fame that he's now got to start covering sports and writing, because he thinks now he's some famous dude that's going to sell. I don't know, but sometimes when we see new people come with the TLC, usually it's because they're looking for some form of clout, and you never know. Maybe this is the real reason why Brian is really here just to use the clout from being with Amy and being on TV to uplift his sports and writing. But I hope I'm wrong. Nonetheless, though, this and of course Raise the Boys the best we can. Well, listen, end of the day, everything does stand rosy, everything does stand absolutely beautiful. So I hope that obviously they do live a life together forever, and I really hope that they do become the best parents possible to Amy's 2 sons. And who knows, maybe they'll have another child along the way. I mean, to be honest, would I recommend Amy having another child? Probably not. Why? Because having the first 2 kids was a risk anyway. She had to lose a certain amount of weight to even be pregnant with the first son, Gage, and even then she ended up getting pregnant before she even reached that weight goal. And then of course after having Gage, she was meant to lose some more weight and really get back on track. But instead of doing that, she then got pregnant again with Glenn. And then obviously after having Glenn, she's never lost any more weight since then. Do you see what I'm saying? So to be fair, if there's going to be another baby in the oven at some point, I really hope Amy goes back to what she was supposed to do, and that is hitting her weight goal. So therefore, if she gets pregnant again, she'll be at a healthier state to do so. Because at the end of the day, the woman's body gets pretty much quote unquote destroyed each and every time they have a child anyway. Do you see what I mean? It gets weakened, should I say, weakened. Destroy is probably too much of a strong word. But nonetheless, though, let me know exactly what you're thinking down below in the comment section and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.